Hello everybody. Welcome to my new YouTube channel. I actually changed my mind. I was like, you know what? I could do it every Wednesdays too, actually. That's fine. So, so now this plane I'm about to introduce, this is one of the most famous short-range medium-haul regional jets. This is the CRJ-900, even though it was originally designed by Bombardier. But if you ever look on Flight Radar 24 radar, for some reason now they call it Mitsubishi because Mitsubishi had acquired the CRJ program until it was finished by, I think, by 2021 or 2020. So, as you know, we have a bunch of these CRJs here in AB Airport, and if you ever want to see more of these CRJs, they have more in this one airport in New York City called LaGuardia, which is it's a very busy airport. They have them in Newark too, and they have them in even the bigger JFK as well. But the flight that we have that have these larger CRJ-900s, we have Delta, which is called Delta Connection, usually goes to Atlanta, and the other one is the American Eagle. That one usually goes to Charlotte in North Carolina. So I'll show you the other places right here. 1/400 scale. This particular one is actually from the very old airline that used to be, exist, Northwest Airlink. But if you see the registration right there, hold up. Let me get the camera right there focusing. Hold on, sorry, the camera's just not really working with me at the moment. There we go. You see the registration says 901XJ. If you ever want to look on the Flight Radar 24, you could look at its registration, and when I looked it up, it actually is still in the air, technically, with Delta Connection operated by Endeavor Air. And it has come to his area a few times for Atlanta flights. It's very, very cool. And look, there's inside right here of the aircraft, of the larger CRJ. And if you want to look at this right here, about the collectible aircraft type CRJ-900, Mesaba Airlines Northwest Airlink, N901XJ, and even tells you the engine types, which is the General Electric CF34 turbofan engine that it has. Its cruising speed is 547 miles per hour, pretty fast. Alrighty, this is the story of it. It says, as the popularity of the 50cc 100 or the older CRJ-200 had grew, many of the world's airlines turned to Bombardier for a larger, more payload-capable aircraft. With this input of the airlines, the manufacturer answered the requirements with 3 new variants, became the CRJ-700, CRJ-705, and the larger CRJ-900. And you already see all the story. So there's other CRJs that were with it. Like there's also the very, very large CRJ-1000, the whole largest of the entire CRJ family, and the other one that was introduced in 2019 for United Express, GoJet, which is called the CRJ-550. As you know, is a modified version of the 700. The only difference is they put 50 seats on the aircraft instead of more than 70 seats that they put on the 700. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, there we go. There we go. Alrighty. This thing's a pretty thing of beauty. I've seen a bunch of these CRJs my whole life. Like, actually, I remember when I was around maybe 5 years old, the first ever airliner I've ever saw in my life, I remember, was actually a CRJ, but it was the older CRJ-200 when Delta used to have them. Unfortunately, I didn't even find out until like last year that in 2023, Delta took out the CRJ-200s out of service to be replaced by these better CRJs. Even though I have heard complaints from a bunch of people how the CRJ-200 wasn't as comfortable because of how older it was becoming. Some people said that the CRJ-700 and 900 were actually a lot better than compared to the older 200. But I love the engines on this thing too. The engines right here, the CF34 turbofans engines. But as you know, not to be confused with the same engine that powers up with the older CRJ-200, but this is the more powerful engine. The powerful version of the CF34 turbofan engine. It's pretty very cool. I love this jet. And I'm hoping in the future, if I ever hopefully want to go to Atlanta or maybe to Charlotte or maybe even to Chicago, maybe I'm hoping in the future to go on one of these CRJs. But honestly, I hope in the future to go to maybe Atlanta, Georgia to even be on one of these CRJs, because I want to take a flight on one of these CRJs to see how it feels. Because the only planes I've ever been on in my life, I've been on the MD-80, the Airbus 320neo, and the larger Airbus 321, and they were comfortable planes. I just want to see how it is on a CRJ, but I'm hoping someday to do it. Well, anyway, thank you for the video, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And there's only 4 more left, so stay tuned.